Amazing. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first webinar in our Getting Ready for Lakehead series. We are very, very excited to see you tonight. So thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciate it. All right, tonight you are going to start your adventure. We are going to give you as much information as we can about all of the amazing things at Lakehead and all the amazing ways that you can get involved and active at Lakehead University. All right, and in pure amazing Lakehead fashion, we are handing the floor over to the experts tonight. We have athletics and we have our student government here tonight to help us out, because why not get the information right from the source? All right, so please know before we get started, all of our participants tonight, except for our hosts, are muted, but we still want to hear from you. So please make your questions known. Absolutely. The question and answer is on the bottom bar of your screen, the Q&A. That is the best way to get your questions out there and get them answered by an expert in their field. We also have the chat function, which you can certainly use. However, the Q&A is most definitely the easiest way to get a hold of us and to get whatever it is that you need answered from us. All right. So tonight we have a fantastic group of people, one of them being Tori, who is the Senior Recruitment Coordinator with Lakehead University in the Undergraduate Recruitment Department. Thank you, Tori, for being here. We really appreciate it. Tori will be doing the Q&A for the most part tonight, as well as doing a little bit of wrap up at the end. So thank you, Tori. We really appreciate that. My name is Rebecca. I am also with the undergraduate recruitment team. I am a admissions and recruitment advisor with Lakehead University. Happy to be here as always. We also have the fabulous Drake, who is the coordinator of athletics and recreation, here with us tonight, as well as Laura, who's the manager of recreation and operations. And you will hear from these folks later on. So the intros are short but sweet, and you'll get to know more about them later. Absolutely. Vanessa is here as well from a student perspective. She's the active youth student coordinator, has been for a little while, which is fantastic. We also have Perez, who is the president of Lakehead University Student Union, and Brandon. They are the VP in Aurelia with Lakehead University Student Union. Now, Lakehead University respectfully acknowledges its campuses are located on the traditional lands of the Indigenous peoples. Lakehead Thunder Bay is located on the traditional lands of Fort William First Nation, signatory to the Robinson Superior Treaty of 1850. Lakehead Aurelia is located on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabeg. The Anishinaabeg include Ojibwe, the Ottawa, and the Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. Lakehead University acknowledges the history that many nations hold in the areas around our campuses and committed to a relationship with First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples based on the principles of mutual trust, respect, reciprocity, and collaboration in the spirit of reconciliation. Now, as mentioned, we are joined tonight by members of our athletics team and members of our Lakehead University Student Union, or LUSU, as you will be told multiple times over tonight. And they're going to provide information about all the fun things that are available to you while at Lakehead University. Now, before we get started, I do want to know, where are you joining from? And we do have a poll up here. Just let us know, where are you attending? You can Simcoe County Thunder Bay, or you're around Lakehead University campuses. Are you in the GTA, somewhere else in Ontario, somewhere else in Canada, or international? So we'll just keep this up for a few minutes, a few seconds, sorry, and that'll help us better understand what campuses you're looking at, maybe where you're interested in going, and we can direct some information to the campus that you're looking to go to.
Fantastic. Just a few people that haven't responded. If you do want to just take a second and respond, that would be awesome. I'm just going to close this poll down then. One more. Don't be shy. Don't be shy if you have a second to respond. All right, so I'm just going to end this one. I'll share the results so you guys can see that we have people from a wide range of locations this evening. So that's always great on our webinars. So from Thunder Bay, Simcoe County, GTA, Ontario, Canada, as well as international. So welcome. It's so great for us to spend some time with you this evening and get to know you a little bit better as well. I'm going to throw up another poll as well, just to see where things are at. All right, so let's see where kind of what describes you. So even if you're international or in Canada, you know, are you a Canadian citizen? Are you an international student already living in Canada, or are you an international student living outside of Canada as well? Just to give us a little bit of background. You guys are super fast on that one, not messing around this evening. So I'll just share those results as well. So that's so great. And then we want to find out who's attending this webinar with you. So it's always fun to find out who's on the webinars with you. Oh, I just lost my poll, so just a second. You know, technology is fantastic when it works. So that one is not launching for me tonight. Let's just see if I can get that to launch. Nope, it's decided it does not want to launch. All right, well, you know, we sometimes get tech issues, so let's see. All right, so we found one there. So let's just see who's attending the webinar with you this evening. So are you hanging out by yourself? That's great. I love to have conversations with myself all the time. I agree with most things I say at those times, so it's always enjoyable. Do you have a parent, a guardian supporting you? Do you have a friend with you? I'd love a sub question to find out what the pets are that are hanging out with us when we're doing webinars. Like, is it a dog, cat, fish, you know, reptile? Do you have a horse? I don't know, like who is hanging out and watching this webinar with you? So great participation, everyone. I'm just going to end this one and share this one as well. So it's great to see lots of interaction already in the webinar this evening. And please do we do encourage you to connect with us moving forward as well. These, as Rebecca mentioned, these webinars are for you to get these questions answered as we welcome you onto our campuses over the next couple of months. And we're really excited to share everything that we have to offer to you as a student moving forward as well. So right off the get-go, I'm going to turn it over to Drake. And we're going to talk a little bit about athletics in Aurelia to start off with, and then we're going to move into athletics in Thunder Bay. So I'd love to reintroduce, or actually introduce, Drake for the first time. Drake's the coordinator of athletics and recreation out of the Aurelia campus, and I'll be able to share a little bit of information on all the opportunities on our campus.
Awesome. Thanks, Tori. So as mentioned, my name is Drake. I'm the athletic and recreation coordinator on the Aurelia campus. So a few things that the Aurelia campus does offer. So on the varsity side, we do have men's and women's indoor soccer. This is primarily a tournament-based sport. So typically we'll go to a couple invitationals in a year, and as well as our regionals. And then if we progress past regionals, it's our provincials from there. This is primarily a winter semester sport, but we do practice year round just to make sure everyone is ready to go for the year. And we do compete in the OCAA on the Aurelia campus. So we do compete in the college circuit, just with Thunder Bay being an OUA. It's much easier for us to compete in the OCAA, and it allows us flexibility to really offer any sports in the future going forward. On the varsity side, we are in the fall of 2025, we will be introducing our men's and women's outdoor soccer program as well. So in the fall of 2025, we'll have a sport that is a league sport. So we'll have home games, away games, and that will obviously operate in the fall semester. But that's something we're really excited about to bring to campus, is the opportunity for our first, our first league kind of sport on the Aurelia campus, which will allow us to offer home games for students, community members, parents, any supporters to come out to. And we'll move on to our extramurals. So again, our extramurals are all they're more tournament based rec kind of style things. So we do compete what's called the OCR, which is basically a recreation portfolio of the OCAA. So two sports that one sport that we do offer is men's and women's hockey. That is one that we ran this year. Again, it's more tournament-based stuff, so we'll go to a few tournaments throughout the year. It's a little more on the rec side than varsity. So like you said, that one typically is offered all year. And like I said, we'll go to as many tournaments as we can. We'll have usually some exhibition games with Georgian College, which is just down the road from us. So that way we try to have as many cup games and tournaments and anything local that we can, so we can have people come out to it. Something we have offered in the past, but hasn't really made its way back since COVID really, is our extramural basketball program. That is something we are hoping to open up again this year or in the next year. We're basically, it's a program we think we want to get back up and running. So we're going to gauge kind of what the interest level is this year, and potentially look into doing some tournaments if we have enough interest, or we may push that to the 2025 school year as well. And that way we can have a little time to plan and recruit a little more for that program. But those are the two main extramural sports that we offer on the Aurelia campus. And there's different opportunities for us within the OCR to go to different tournaments and for just one-off tournaments for different sports. But again, that's really more who's hosting what kind of thing, and if we have the interest. I know in the past they've done stuff like flag football tournaments, like a co-ed soccer tournament, co-ed volleyball, stuff like that. So if we have a lot of interest in one of those sports too, and and people want to participate in a tournament like that, we'll definitely look into doing those as well. And then we'll move on to our intramurals and rec side of stuff here. So on the Aurelia campus, we have two club kind of sports. We have an equestrian team and a dance team. These teams are more student driven and student ran than our other programs. So what you'll find with the equestrian and the dance team is we like to give everyone on the team a kind of responsibility and a title. So you'll have your captains or your co-captains or your president or your finance, your treasurer, social media. They're kind of more niche sports and activities that aren't necessarily well known to everyone. And we find that people that have been, especially with these two, that have been participating in these sports throughout their entire life, know quite a bit more than we do when it comes to this area. So we work with them throughout the entire year just to support them in any way that we possibly can, but we do typically allow them to pick their own coaches, where they want to practice out of, and everything like that too. Go to the next slide there. So we've got our intramurals and campus rec. So on the Aurelia campus at this time, we do not have a athletic facility on campus, but we do have different partnerships with the city of Aurelia that I will get to in a second. But one amenity we do have on the Aurelia campus is we have an outdoor rink. So last year we got some sport flooring tile put down on it to make it a year-round amenity that we can use. So we do have basketball nets, we do have a hockey nets and everything out there for people to play basketball, ball hockey, anything that they want to do on there. as well as various different rec equipment that can be used there or in the fields next to it. But in the wintertime, when the weather does cooperate, it didn't cooperate in Aurelia as well as much this year, but we do freeze it in the winter, and we try to get a ice rink out there as well in the winter. So you see in the picture there, that is T-Bird, our head of security, enjoying her time out on the rink there. And then some other just rec opportunities. We do offer a program that is what we call Campus Cup. So it's just a different sport, different activity every week. And we'll put you on teams, and each team will compete in a different sport, different activity each week. Just keeps it fun, keeps it interesting, and it's a great way to meet people as well on campus. And we do offer try to put teams into the leagues that the city of Aurelia runs. So I know volleyball on our campus is always popular. So we typically have 1 or 2 teams in the city of Aurelia, just rec leagues that they run. And any other sports that they run or any other leagues that they run that students are interested in, we'll definitely look into putting in different teams into those as well. So we can move on to the fitness slide there now. So as I mentioned earlier, we don't have a facility, necessarily an athletic facility on campus yet in the Aurelia campus. So what we do have on campus is we have a fitness room in the residence building. All students have access to this, whether you're full-time, part-time, anything like that. All you have to do is just fill out our online waiver, and then we grant you access to the room, and your access card is just your student card, so it's quite easy to get in and out once you've done the waiver there. And then something we do have with the city of Aurelia is what they call the city of Aurelia's Fun Pass. So again, all students, whether it's full-time or part-time students, have access to this pass. And what it does is it gives you access to all of the city of Aurelia's rec center amenities. So it gives you access to their fitness center, their aquatic center. They have drop-in events in their gymnasium. So any drop-in events that are, I guess, that don't have a fee attached to them would be covered under this. So you're more than welcome to drop in on those. And it does also have an indoor track inside as well. So again, that's open and free to all students, full-time or part-time. We send a list of new students coming in at the beginning of each semester. So you should be on the list that we send them. And all you need for accessing your card or your Fun Pass, is your Lakehead ID card and just a secondary piece of ID that can be passport, health card, driver's license, anything that's got your name on it, just so the city can cross-reference everything there. And yeah, so there is our website and our Instagram handle as well. So yeah, if you are interested in any of these, we do have, if you're interested in any of the sports, we do have a recruitment page on our website as well that you can fill out, and it'll come directly to us, letting us know what you're interested in, and we can follow up with you from there. And feel free to follow us on Instagram and message us through there, and we'll always try to answer in a timely fashion. And in terms of tryouts for anything, all of our tryouts are always posted on our website and our social medias there.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Drake. Very, very good information. Now, Tori has been handling the questions in the Q&A portion, but if anybody has any throughout the rest of the evening regarding Aurelia Athletics, please let us know. In the meantime, while you are thinking and typing furiously, I will introduce Laura and Vanessa to speak about the athletics recreation for the Thunder Bay campus. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well so far tonight. My name's Laura. I'm our manager of rec and operations.
And I'm Vanessa, and I'm our active youth student coordinator.
So we're going to be bouncing around a couple topics for the Thunder Bay campus, starting off with our varsity sports. So our varsity teams here on the Thunder Bay campus compete in the OUA. Most of our sports are league-based, but we do have a couple tournament-based one as well. You can see on our slide here, our active teams right now are men's and women's basketball, women's volleyball, men's hockey, wrestling, which is co-ed, Nordic ski, which is co-ed, cross country, which is co-ed, and track, which is co-ed. We have some really amazing teams. Both our wrestling and track had some nationally ranked athletes this year, which is very cool. And overall, just a really great environment to be a part of. For those of you that may be interested in being a part of varsity sports, if you're not already in touch with a coach, please get in touch with a coach. That's a very, very important process for getting recruited. They do have certain things they'll need to look at, get some film tape from you, your averages, what program you've applied to, all of that. If you visit thunderwolves.ca, we have a varsity section with team pages, and you can find the coach's contact information pretty easily. It's highly likely most of you on this call will interact with varsity as fans. We're really lucky. We get to advertise. We are the #1 crowd in the OUA. We easily have the largest stand size when it comes to spectators out at the game. Vanessa helps run all these games, so I'm going to let her expand on that experience a little bit.
Yeah, so between the months of October to about February, depending on where our postseason ends up, students have the opportunity to come watch those top 4 sports there. So both of our basketball teams, men's hockey and women's volleyball, will all have home and away games throughout the year. So usually it'll flip every weekend who's around. Like I said, for hockey, the peak of their seasons, or I guess the start of their season, sorry, is October, ending in about February, March-ish, depending on how playoffs go. And then for basketball and volleyball, they go to November to February. We're kind of lucky up in Thunder Bay. We only really play on the weekends, which is kind of nice. So Friday and Saturday nights, you will usually find us here at the field house in the Thunderdome, as it's informally called. Students and non-students are more than welcome to come out, cheer on your Thunderwolves. Lots of opportunity just for a lot of fun, really. It's a very loud and proud environment. We have won the award for best fans in the OUA in 2023, and we consistently have record numbers. So it's a really fun environment. You can buy your tickets online, you can buy them at the door. But I definitely encourage you to come out and see what all 4 of those teams, our spectator sports, are about.
Yeah. We also typically hire every fall 4 event staff. So if you're someone who's passionate about sport and recreation and you'd like to work in this type of environment, we hire event staff. They help run the game. If you're interested in learning about being a mascot, we employ Wolfie. So you can definitely reach out. Same website that Tori linked in the chat there. There's an employment section in the top to see opportunities on campus related to varsity sport. So varsity is our highest level of competition. Our next level of competition is club sports. That was a seamless transition, Rebecca or Tori. I don't know who's controlling the slides. Club sports are an opportunity for students to engage competitively in a sport without being at that high intense varsity level. So similar to the Aurelia campus, our clubs are student organized and student led. How they choose to compete and where they compete is up to the leadership of that club that year. So sometimes they don't compete in anything. They just love to get together and play once or twice a week. Other times the teams will fundraise, go down to tournaments in Minnesota or Duluth. Our soccer team has come down and played with the Lakehead Aurelia teams. So again, their structure really does vary year to year based on their leadership, as well as our list of club sports. It evolves pretty quickly. If there's a sport club that you want to start, as long as you have enough people to play said sport, you're probably going to be able to start it. Between us and LUSU's club office, we have a lot of resources on campus to support those student-led initiatives. So it's really great. Our newer clubs this year, rugby had a bit of a hiatus after COVID, and they're back for the first time this year. Dodgeball is a brand new club. Soccer has a women's club this year for the first time in a while. And it's been a really great year for the clubs kind of coming back to life after a little bit of a pause around COVID. So we love to have them. It's really great leadership opportunities for people on campus too. Our clubs do all have officers, presidents, treasurers, and risk management positions. So you can get a little bit of resume experience being a part of a club sport as well. Great. So we are going to shift to intramurals. I'm going to chat really briefly, big picture, and then Vanessa, who helped out at intramurals as well, is going to chat a little bit about the student experience side of it. But big thing, intramurals are kind of like house league sports. Anyone can play them. It doesn't matter how good or how bad you are at a sport. There is one that you can play in. The one that I particularly like to plug is our inner tube sports. So we offer both inner tube water polo and inner tube basketball now, which has gotten really popular this semester. You just float around a little tube, toss the ball. Nobody's good at it, which is the best thing about that intramural. So you don't have to feel bad about not knowing how to play. And then a lot of our sports, we have multiple skill levels too. Anything to add about that?
Yeah, like Laura mentioned, most of these sports, depending on registration numbers, will have a competitive or recreational league. So depending on kind of how you grew up in the sport, you might be someone who's a diehard soccer fan who has been playing soccer since they could walk, played club, played in high school, then you're probably going to sign up for a competitive league. If you're someone who is more like me and has 2 left feet, but you just want to get active, you'll probably sign up for our rec leagues. Lots of great experiences in there, lots of opportunity to meet people. If excuse me, if you are looking to meet people and you're not quite sure you can pull a whole team together, absolutely no worries. You can always reach out to our campus rec office and we will try and match you up with teams based on whether or not they need free agents. Usually our teams are pretty accepting of adding new people, which is super nice. The Lakehead community I find is pretty good from that student perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, intramurals is another area with a lot of student employees as well. We have almost 30 students employed in the intramural office, either as scorekeepers, referees, or league supervisors. So actually managing the day-to-day operations of the games. So same thing, if you're familiar with sports, you want to be involved with sports. The intramural family is a really fun, happy, energetic one. So I would highly consider joining it. Yeah, so that is intramurals for you. We're going to chat quickly about the facilities that we have on campus now.
Yes, so Lakehead Thunder Bay is pretty blessed in the fact that we do have a full athletics facility. So you kind of see 2 sides of it there. On the left is what I mentioned earlier, the field house, informally known as the Thunderdome. That's where all of our, or not all of them, I guess I should say, only basketball and volleyball play in there. But you can come into those home games. That is the court that you will be watching. That court is also open at certain parts of the day for open gym times, and any sort of open times are found on our website, but that's part of it. And then the other side of the picture there is our new facility. So it is the Wolf Den. It opened in 2021.
February 2020.
February 2020.
Yeah.
It was a little short-lived, but then we came back better than ever. And so that is our new facility. It includes the court that you see there. You can kind of see the treadmills in that top picture. There's a cardio loft. There's another weight room in there. Our front desk and our member services attendants also hang out there, so you can ask them any question, and they'll be able to give you a hand. They're quite helpful. Outside of those 2, we have another set of weight rooms in our field house as well. Another cardio room with an artificial turf and one of those like TXR machines, which is really fun. And then we have our hangar field, which is an indoor track and indoor field facility, which is also super popular. Go for a run, play soccer, play football. Intramurals takes place on there. So lots of opportunity to move your body plenty of different ways. We have a pool as well. So if you're a swimmer, maybe that's your vibe, but yeah, lots of opportunity for Lakehead Thunder Bay to kind of get active, whether you're a court sport person, a field person, a runner, a swimmer. You'll probably be able to find a space here for you, which is super exciting.
Yeah. The really cool thing about our facilities as well too is they've all been added on but connected to, so you can stay inside as you're moving in between the 3 buildings. They are all interconnected and they all have very different vibes when they were built, when their equipment was put in. So no matter like what type of workout environment you're looking for, you'll probably find it in one of our spaces. Yeah, so the last slide that we have for our Thunder Bay campus is about fitness and instructional programs. So this is another area that does definitely vary year to year based on student interest and capacity in our building. So we do our best to provide group fitness and personal training experiences each year to the student body. Again, it fully depends on if we have enough interest in instructors for those programs. Instructional programs, we've partnered with community groups often to do instructional sports. So our community partner Thunder Bay Ultimate, for example, runs a 4v4 Ultimate Frisbee clinic every year for us. We had an intro to pickleball clinic this year. So especially tied to those intramural sports, they'll often be intro to said sport prior to those starting up. So keep an eye out for those when you get your orientation week calendars. Typically we'll be in the schedule around week 2 for a bunch of try it and instructional sport programs. And then if there is a fitness or instructional program you're looking for and you don't see it in our offerings, reach out. We love adding new programs. As long as we have the capacity to, we will. So reach out so we can connect and get you for. But I think that is the end of our slides, except for our question slide. And I don't see any questions in our Q&A, so I think we're golden there.
Yeah, we've been busy answering some questions behind the scenes. So I know we touched on, there was a question around skiing. So I did provide some information on Nordic. I don't know if they were looking for downhill or not, but we do have a varsity Nordic team and I did provide a link for that. There was a question around soccer for the Thunder Bay campus as well. You have a club team, correct?
Yes, so our club soccer teams, they play in local leagues. There's adult men's and women's leagues in Thunder Bay, so the teams primarily compete in those. But then they do typically do a tournament down in Southern Ontario at least once a year as well.
Awesome. And we did have a question around gym equipment. Not too sure what that question was about. So we did, I know Drake covered a fair amount of information around what was available facility-wise in Aurelia with both the fitness room on campus as well as our partnership with the city of Aurelia for athletic facilities. And then did a great job of overview for our Thunder Bay campus. So if we have missed something and the question was not there, please feel free to post another question in the Q&A so we can circle back to it. But awesome. Loved how you guys described all the different opportunities available on both our campuses for individuals that are passionate about sports and good at it, and passionate about sports and just trying their best most of the time. So it's all about moving and being active. And now we're gonna turn things over a little bit and talk about all of the other kind of opportunities we have on our campuses. So even, not everyone really loves that opportunity to be engaged in an athletic facility, whether that's a intramural or a varsity program, but really want to be engaged on a campus environment. So that could be with clubs and activities and student leadership and centers as well. So I'm going to turn it over now to Faraz, and Brandon is going to talk a little bit more about the other ways that students can get involved and active on our campus in a variety of ways. So I think Brandon's up first, so I'll turn it over to you.
Hey everyone, my name is Brandon. I use they them pronouns. I'm the vice president Aurelia of the student union. Have been to both campuses, so feel free to ask me any questions, but Faraz will certainly speak more about Thunder Bay after. I'm a student in interdisciplinary studies, so if any of you are looking at social sciences and humanities, I'm your person. In terms of student life, first day I walked into the university about 7 years ago, I went straight to Lucin. I said, how can I get involved? And the rest is history. I've been a staff member, a board member, now an executive, and there's all sorts of opportunities to get involved, not only in the student union, but in student life in general. And we're really here to make sure that you succeed both academically and socially and professionally. So in terms of getting involved, there are, as I said, various different ways that you can do so. One of the main things that most people know us for is clubs. So, in terms of clubs, and there was a Q&A question about that, you can go to myclubs.lusu.ca to find some of our existing clubs. But in Aurelia, our most popular club is the Farm Club, which actually runs some of our campus gardens. You can have some great, freshly grown snacks, but also learn a bit about agriculture, agri-food, sustainability and climate action. So there's all sorts of tie-ins with that. And recently they just got some funding to actually hire some summer positions, which is pretty cool. We also have the Queer Safe Space Club, which is a club for 2S LGBTQ students as well as allies. We have, various faith-based clubs, including the Jewish Student Association and various Christian groups. We have the Business Aurelia Student Society. So if you're a business student, they do some really fun activities throughout the year, where you'll get to do pretending to do investments basically, where you can win prizes. And we have more recently Enactus, which is a really great kind of incubator for ideas and innovation that exists at both campuses. Those are just a few examples, but for example, if you're an education student, there's also societies like the Education Students Teachers Association, or ESTA-O, which exists in Thunder Bay as well. So there's some of the clubs, but you can also volunteer with our food pantry, which is one of our services. You can run for board. You can volunteer on different events and campaigns. There's all sorts of ways to get involved. And we're here to support you, whether it's through our clubs, our events, and our services. So feel free to reach out anytime. My name is Brandon, and I will just paste some information in the chat that you can go to, and you can follow us on Instagram at Lusu_Aurelia or Lusu_TBay for Thunder Bay. But that's really about us. I'm happy to answer any questions if any pop up. But I should note that if there's a club that you don't see, like you're like, oh, I really wanted to start a knitting club as an example. We've had that in the past. You can do that. And as long as you hit 5 members in Aurelia or 10 members in Thunder Bay, you will be ratified. And if you get just a bit more, you'll even get some funding too. So we're here to support, you having a successful time with your club. And I'll pass it on to Faraz to talk a little bit about Thunder Bay, but you might see from me later.
Thank you, Brandon. Good afternoon, potential Thunderwolves. We call our students Thunderwolves because that is our mascot. My name is Faraz. I'm the current LUSU president. I came here as an international student about 2 years ago. I started working at the International Student Lounge and then later got involved with LUSU and trying to advocate for our students and became the president. Just to talk about our campus, we'll look at it in Thunder Bay. It's quite a big campus, not as big as other campuses in Southern Ontario, but it has its merits for sure. Our class sizes are smaller, and we keep that relationship with our instructors, which in my opinion, and doing my graduate studies here, my master's in civil engineering, that was something that I'm really proud of. We do have a lot of centers in our student union. The main ones are listed for you. The first one, Indigenous Cultural Center, we have yearly powwow and support for our Indigenous community. We have the Gender Equity Center and Pride Center all now combined together, which during the Pride Month, we have different programs for our queer community and try to support them and celebrate the month with them. The Multi Center is a hub for our international students and domestic students who want to learn more about the cultures around the world, taste foods, and learn different languages. We have this multicultural day, which all the students from different backgrounds cook food and bring it to the university. How cool is that? Get to try out and be part of the Lakehead family. The sustainability initiative as well helps a lot with sustainability, brings a lot of ideas, and our, which we call the Food Resource Center, has been one of the active parts and pillars of our student union. We try to help address food insecurity and support our students who are going through tough times. We have the bi-weekly program, which is the emergency grocery food pickup, which helps our students basically with 10 items out of the food bank, and also we provide them with many free meals during the week. I wanted to talk about some other aspects of the university. We have 2 more clubs. One is LU Radio and the other one is the Argus. The Argus is one of the oldest part of the university. It goes back to the 1966 to the 1960s actually. It's a newspaper that it's student-centered. A lot of students are involved in it, and they talk about the student life, what is happening on campus, and trying to advocate for their fellow students. LU Radio as well has been there since 2005. And some of you might think, okay, radio, that's not our jam anymore, but they're updating themselves. We are now looking at having podcasts, and they're teaching how to go on podcasts, and we'll have YouTube videos, and those workshops are coming, and they do interviews with our student leaders, the club members, or the club leaders that are on campus, and try to bring the word out to our community and to Thunder Bay as well. Moving on to the next one. Thank you. Yes, the things that actually help a lot with my studies because well, sometimes it gets really hard when you're an engineer and other fields as well. Are the study coffee house, which is a good place to hang out and do your studies and chill with your friends. And the Outpost, which we are really proud of, was up until recently the biggest pub on campus nationwide in Canada. Now it's the second biggest, but at one point it can take up to 750, 800 people. We have different bands coming in. They do shows for our students. We have, for example, Valentine's Day celebrations, different competitions, even in the Outpost, and it's really fun just to hang around. And I also have to mention that the student union subsidizes them, so you get really cheap alcoholic drink, non-alcoholic drinks, food, and etc. So that is one of the aspects that really made the student life here for me enjoyable. And we'll go to the next one. Yes, and so two of the most important things that really helps our students are the U-Pass, which is basically the bus pass, but really cheaper than what it is outside of the union. It's about 25% of the price that is outside. So it helps you get around the city through cheaper transit. It's a yearly bus pass, and you pay it once. You can use it for a year. And the LUSU Health and Dental Plan, which OHIP, or if you're an international student, UHIP doesn't cover your dental and many other things like medicine as well, that this LUSU Health and Dental Plan covers. It also covers travel. So if you're going outside of Ontario, anywhere in Canada, you are under coverage as well. It has helped a lot of students, and we also again try to update it every year. So based on the numbers that we get, the statistics, a lot of students recently want to have more of a ADHD medicine coverage, for example, or dental coverage, and we try to play with it and try to accommodate our students. So those are the two things that we again take pride in our union. We'll go to the next slide. And yes, to be involved in the student union and being part of the student voice, there's always LUSU elections going once a year. We also have by-elections. So for positions that we don't have a competitor, or we don't have the person, or someone might resign or not able to continue, then you can go for the by-elections. But the first step would be to choose your position. There are different positions. For example, president, VP Aurelia, if you're in Aurelia, VP Finance and Operation, who's working on the financial aspect of the student union, and also the operations part, and VP Advocacy, which advocates for your peer students and basically trying to lobby with different part of the universities to bring the best for the students. And then you candidate yourself. We have a campaigning period where you go out and talk to your fellow students, do class talks. And if you're into student politics and any sort of politics, it's a really different experience. I did mine about a year and a half ago, a year ago, I would say, and really enjoyed it. Got to know a lot of students, got to make a lot of friends. And this is, again, one of the most important aspects of being involved with the student unions on campuses. We're also part of the bigger student union, which is the CFS, which is the Canadian Traditional Students and also Students of Ontario. And each year we go to different places like Ontario, like Toronto, and again, connect with other student unions as well. And then I wanted to mention that, as a student union, we're proud that we are always in touch with our students. We try to bring what is fair to them. We try to advocate them at any point. If they have any issues or any problems, they can always come to our offices. We have an open door policy, all of the executives here. So, and another piece of news that we renovated our offices. So when you come down, you'll also see those glamorous new technology rooms and everything. And it's again fun to be there and enjoy your time there. And we again have our arms open for anyone who comes in. I think that's my part as the student union president. Looking forward to your questions. If you have any, please write it down in the question box, and me and Brandon will be more than happy to answer. Thank you so much.
Thanks to the both of you. Yeah, so we've been answering some questions behind the scenes. So I know, Brandon, you mentioned that one of the most popular clubs that we have in the Aurelia campus is the Farm Club. Is there any other kind of clubs that are kind of interesting in nature or unique in nature that you can think of? We get lots of questions around clubs and activities for students. Students are really looking for that opportunity to be engaged on their campus, step up, try some unique and some have some opportunities that maybe weren't available for them in high school or college or where they're coming to us from.
Yeah, I mean, the Farm Club is just one of them. And then Queer Safe Space Club, of course, in Aurelia, we don't have the service centers, but we have clubs that cover a lot of those. The Education Teacher Student Association certainly is a very large and active club too. We have actually, this one is probably a unique one. It doesn't exist at the Thunder Bay campus at this moment. It's called the Nature Enthusiasts Club, and they recently did an event called Rock Hounding, where they went into Scouts Valley. So for those who are maybe considering coming to Aurelia, whether you're in the GTA, Simcoe County, elsewhere, there is a place called Scouts Valley, about a 10-minute walk from campus, just down the street. Beautiful, natural trails, streams, all that. And the students actually went and they collected rocks, and they took a little hammer and they broke it open to see if they could find fossils or other kind of neat things. And they did in fact find a few fossils just in our own backyard. That was kind of neat. We have Boreal, which is I don't remember the full acronym, but it basically it's an excursion club. They go on outdoor adventures, and if you're in Thunder Bay, you can join the BIPOC excursion or outdoor adventures club. If you're Black, Indigenous, or racialized, it's a really great opportunity to connect with the outdoors and reduce, it's a way to reduce barriers to accessing outdoor activities. So there's all sorts of different clubs that you can participate in. But again, if you don't see something that you think really should be there, you can start a club. We'll help support you in doing that. I mean, in the past, we've had drama clubs, we've had glee clubs, we've had knitting clubs and craft clubs. It just depends what's of interest to you. Another example is that both campuses we have Indigenous students clubs. So in Thunder Bay, the Indigenous Cultural Traditions Club, which has been around now for almost 35 years, runs the annual powwow. And in Aurelia, we have the Turtle Island Student Circle, or TISC. There's lots of ways to get involved. But even if you're maybe not interested in a specific club, and like Faraz was saying, if you're passionate about politics, advocacy, but particular issues, you can get involved in campaigns. We always have a Fight the Fees campaign every year, which is challenging governments to actually invest in our education. We have our pantries and our food resource center, which help provide really important services to students who maybe can't afford food or just looking for a snack. So don't hesitate to reach out to us on Instagram and email, give us a call, or come by our offices. In Aurelia, for example, one of our big campaigns is trying to get a new building so that we can actually expand all of the services that you've seen tonight and more that you haven't even heard from. There's lots to discover at Lakehead, so don't hesitate to reach out. And if you have a chance, I know Thunder Bay and Aurelia both have different open houses throughout the year that you can come learn more about. But yeah, hopefully that answers the question. Lots of neat clubs, really niche clubs that are pretty fun to get involved with.
Or as I see you have your hand up, just don't even put up your hand. Just take it as soon as someone stops talking.
Thank you.
Jump on in.
Thank you. Yeah, to add to what Brandon mentioned, for example, I'll mention the clubs top of my head. For example, we have Law and Politics Club, which actually invited Honorable Minister Patty Hajdu. We had, students had a chat with them. They challenged her and asked her questions. Robotics, if someone is into robotics and make robots and cars and different things, they've been really active, and the students are really happy with the club. We've got a board game club. If you're into Dungeons and Dragons and those board games, I was not, but then I got to know them, and now every weekend I have to do my D&Gs. We have a French club with a lot of French students talking about, the French history and speaking basically in French language. And I attended their club, really friendly, and try to learn a little bit of French, try to make my English better, but also a little bit of French. We have ARIA, which is the AI club. It is fairly new, but they've been really active. For example, for the first time in many years, or at least since I came here, we have EA Sports on campus. For example, FIFA or different sports that they play competitively. AFCASA, the African Caribbean Club, which again do Black History Month, a lot of other events, and they're really good advocates for students. We're looking to have a Toastmasters club, a club that helps you with basically public speaking, presenting yourself, doing speeches, and all of that. And for other clubs as well, for different nationalities, like Louisa, which is the Indian Society, Indian Student Society, or Lika, which is the Iranian Student Society. And yeah, so many clubs that people are involved with. And also on a higher level, like ESS, which is the Engineer Student Society, or Luna, which is the Lakehead University Nursing Association. Those are the clubs that are always active. Students tend to go a lot and participate because they're big, and year round or even monthly they have events, and again, we take pride in them. So I'm looking forward to your new students coming in, and
Awesome.
yeah, we have all means to provide support and fun times for you, because personally, I think studying is, and doing engineering, that's a big workload. So studying is a part of your life, but that is not the only part. And the experience that you have at Lakehead is not only the studying; it's all the things that come with it: the clubs, the events, the partying, and different things. Yeah, back to you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, awesome. And actually, it's those things that are going to make the memories of your university years, right? Like going to school, going to class, 100%, totally important, got to do that. But it's those connections you make outside of the classroom that are critical. So that was fantastic. That's a great segue for me. I'm actually going to open this to all of our co-hosts this evening on a tip, a bit of advice. So someone new coming to campus, Aurelia Thunder Bay, not too sure where to start. What is one bit of advice that you would provide a new student arriving on campus on how they can get involved with either clubs, activities, make connections, sports, athletics? Yeah, I'm going to start with Faraz. You're first on my screen, and then we'll just go down from there.
Yes, sir. I was in the middle of answering one of the questions. Yes, but what was the question again, if I may?
So one bit of advice or tip on how a new student would get involved or connected on campus. So a bit of advice moving forward.
It depends, but to be general, come to First Loose offices or Student Success Center on Thunder Bay campus. They're the place to start with. We offer the informations, all the clubs that you can be part of. We definitely have different fairs as well on campus for our new students who come in. And then we introduce our clubs. The club members come out and they talk to the students. They offer, different merchandise as well, which is nice. I don't think I've bought a pen since I came to Thunder Bay into Lakehead, because there's so many clubs and they always offer different pens and different merchandise. And so for me, those are the two main points that to carry and come to when you come to Lakehead.
Awesome. So I think Brandon's next on my screen. So putting you in the hot seat now, a bit of advice for new students on getting connected and engaged on campus.
Yeah, not similar from Faraz. Maybe come check us out at orientation. So in Aurelia, we'll have Lusu Fest the first Friday back. We'll have an outdoor movie night, which is called Flicks in the Field, and all sorts of other events. Same in Thunder Bay. There's always Fantasy Fun Fest and all sorts of other events at the Outpost. Come by an event. If I could say, maybe attach that, be fearless. I know that that's a hard thing to do, whether you're a new student or a mature student, or this is like your second degree or diploma. Be fearless, because this is your time to maybe discover who you are, learn new things, meet new people. Don't be afraid to kind of like step out of your comfort zone a little bit. And if you're ever feeling kind of blue, there's also supports and services on campuses and off campuses for that. If you're maybe feeling overwhelmed by academics, certainly you can come by Lusu or go by the academic support zone. Just be fearless, though. I mean, this is your time to, as Miss Frizzle, for any of you who remember that show, would say, get messy and make mistakes. That is the point of higher education. And to what Faraz said earlier, it's so much more than just what's in the classroom, it's what's outside. And you'll find that there's a lot of overlap between your academics and between and your personal life. So there's ways to find things that excel your career and your learning outside the classroom. So just be fearless, get involved. And that's the Thunderwolf spirit.
Fantastic piece of advice. And I would have to say, if you think everyone else has got it going on and figured out they don't, so just jump in there and do it anyways. Everyone else is probably equally as nervous, unsure of themselves, not too sure what to do. They may be, they may think you are super confident on what's going on. So just take a risk. I know sometimes it's just having that conversation. Some even just stood in res or in the dining hall or something, having that conversation with someone next to you, and then suddenly you make a connection. So I don't want to forget about athletics and sports and everything else. So let's turn it over to Vanessa and Laura to give a little bit of advice for first year students. It can be athletic based or non-athletics, just kind of thoughts on how to get involved and active. And then Drake is last.
Awesome. I will pretty much mimic what everyone else is saying. The stuff that you do outside of class, as someone who's 10 years out of university now, that is what I remember. Probably poor reflection of my academics standing here. Don't remember a lot of what happened in my classes, but I remember a lot of what I did outside of my classes. And getting jobs on campus, joining clubs, coming out to games, whatever it is that is your wheelhouse, find it and try it. And don't be afraid to advocate for yourself, creating those clubs, as both Lusu reps talked about. We will guide you through creating those groups if they don't already exist on campus. Yeah,
and kind of to almost opposite what Laura's saying, try something new, try something like weird. You never know, you might just be like, I'm gonna show up at this just because. Or maybe if you're on residence and a couple of your friends are like, oh, we should try this like try it thing, like they're doing like we talked about, inner tube basketball was definitely a wonky one, but so many of our participants are like, wow, I never would have thought to play water basketball, but it's a lot of fun. So just try something new. As much as it's awesome to find your niche and your group of people, once you get that, try and expand your niche and be like, hey, let's try something, like just try something wacky, try something weird. You never know, you might really like it. And if you don't, well, then at least you have a fun story to tell. Like that's kind of my biggest thing. And going through my undergrad and now being in my professional years, it's always been just like what if I just did this and see what happens.
Awesome. More great advice, and we'll turn it over to Drake.
Yeah, it's gonna sound like a broken record because it's very much echoing what everyone else has already talked about, but just recommend getting involved. Whether it's in athletics or within LUSU, I can honestly say from athletics on Aurelia's campus, all of our athletes are extremely welcoming, whether it's the varsity level, the extramural level, club level. Everyone is extremely friendly, extremely welcoming. And if you're looking just to get in on the intramural side, everyone that I have dealt with in intramurals they're friendly, everyone's just there for a good time, and they're even willing to teach you how to play a sport if you don't know how to play or an activity. Like everyone else has already talked about it, it is really just about what you're doing outside of the classroom and getting to meet different people, getting to create that experience for yourself. So I highly recommend getting involved. And if you ever want to see anything on campus or you have any kind of questions, just come see us. We're very friendly. We're yeah, like I said, we're always here, and we're here to answer any questions. And like I said, if you want to see anything on campus, come talk to us and we'll try our best to make sure we can help you in some capacity get what you're interested in up and running.
Fantastic. So Lakehead really is about stepping out of that crowd and trying something unconventional, taking a risk, trying some new things and being a part of a great experience. The 4 years, if you're in your undergrad degree, those 4 years are special 4 years of your life, and make the most of every opportunity that comes across. I try to practice not saying no to some things. Some things you will need to say no to, but really, if you have that opportunity to step out of the crowd, try something new, try something different, seize it. You may not be successful, you may not be something you like, but at least you've given it a go. And it's amazing how many connections and friendships and that can lead in so many different ways in your future. That could be a potential job opportunity or connection to something else as well. And it's those memories, as everyone said, that you make in your undergraduate years that live on for the rest of your life. And they're the memories outside the classroom as well. So fantastic, guys. I love the bits of advice that everyone has shared. Really appreciate the information you provided everyone this evening. Lots of great questions. I'm just going to do a couple of closing slides as we wrap some things up as well. So as mentioned, a few next steps for those of you on the webinar this evening. Some of these deadlines are coming up. If you're a direct from high school student, we have a presidential scholarships just passed. So hopefully if you applied for that, you got all your application all in. If you're direct from high school student as well, just a reminder that your deadline to accept your offer and pay your $200 confirmation deposit is coming up for June the 3rd. If you're unsure on what your deadlines are for accepting offers and paying confirmation deposits, please refer back to your offer letter. This will have all the information related to your acceptance, your conditions of your offer, your deadlines for accepting offers, and also for making those payments as well. For direct from high school students, we do have our Destination Lakehead bursary. This is a $3,000 bursary. $1,000 of that is travel money for students that are coming for more than 250 kilometers from their home to attend either our Aurelia or Thunder Bay campus, as well as a $2,000 bursary. This is a phenomenal bursary that's available. We do still have applications open for that, and that one does close on June the 3rd. So making sure that, we want to also support you financially. Lakehead is ranked number 2 in Ontario for the amount of financial support we give to our students, providing over $11 million annually to assist students for taking that first step, maybe for coming to university or for increasing credentials and degrees as well. If you have not visited campus, it's not too late. So we still have lots of opportunities for you to tour our campus. Both our Thunder Bay and our Aurelia campus is open year round. We conduct campus tours at our Thunder Bay campus on Tuesdays through Fridays at 11 o'clock in the day. Our main Aurelia campus, University Avenue, we provide campus tours Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock. And then we also offer campus tours for our professional program, primary, junior, Bachelor of Education at our downtown campus on Mondays and Fridays. So, come and see us on campus, make some connections with some individuals maybe you saw on the screen this evening, ask some additional questions. It allows you to have a chance to kind of see what campus is like and be toured around campus by a current student, meet with faculty, maybe see residents, maybe connect with a different unit or area on campus as well. And if you can't tour personally, we do have virtual tours available, so you can walk around our campuses virtually. Not the same at all, but we do know that some of you are far away right now, and that might be the only option as well. But still time to come and visit our campuses prior to starting in September. We do encourage you to follow us on social media. So this is a great way to see what it is like to be a Lakehead University student and what's going on campus as well. So we have a number of social media channels available. You can see kind of what's up and coming, what's happening. We post some amazing success stories that's happening both inside and outside the classroom on our social media channels. So really get down and see what's happening campus-wise on both of our campuses. And then finally, we're so looking forward to greeting you in September. If you're starting with us in September, I know a number of the webinar this evening are probably starting with us this summer. We have some summer transition students. If you're coming into our college transfer engineering program, if you're starting with us in the one-year Bachelor of Social Work program. So lots of ways for us to continue to connect and support you as you move through. I know there was a lot of questions this evening that were not about staying active on campus, and we tried to answer those as much as possible around course registration, around meet and program requirements. I did provide some information behind the scenes on who to connect with as well, as this webinar was very much focused on getting involved and getting active on campus. I'm going to just pause for a moment just to see if there's any other questions that need to be answered prior to us closing down the webinar for the evening.
I don't see any current questions, but as Tori mentioned, please reach out if you do think of something later tonight. You're up at midnight and you can't sleep and you have that burning question. Just message us, send us an email. You can also book phone or Zoom appointments with Tori and I to discuss anything that you might have on your mind about anything Lakehead. So please reach out. Again, I don't see questions, but I do want to say thank you so much for everyone who attended tonight. Thank you to our experts. You are experts, and we appreciate it very, very much. So thank you so much. And thank you everybody for coming tonight. We really appreciate you giving us a little bit of your evening. I think it's Tuesday, so thank you for giving us a Tuesday evening. I really appreciate that. Again, reach out for questions, and we hope to see you at some point this summer or in this coming fall. So thanks again, everyone. Have a nice night, and we hope to hear from you soon.